You know, at CTI, we're ongoingly committed to excellence. We continue to evolve and grow and refine our material. We've recently redesigned the model and created new cornerstones for our approach to coaching to rest upon. So, coaching, while it's an experience in the moment, is also an evolutionary process. And it's important to continue to evolve, grow, expand, and open yourself to a wide range of thinking and approaches.
Well, what that makes me think about is when we're going to use, our best thinking. What we want to do is sort of get exposed to lots of theories about how coaching works, how people's mind thinks. So if you're coaching someone, it's great to be able to think about them in terms of positive psychology, which is completely congruent with the CTI training. It is also good to be able to think of them from a cognitive perspective. How are these people thinking? Is the challenge they're trying to match and the way they're thinking, does it match up? Are they needing to be a hawk or a hummingbird? But how to understand that. Or to understand, for example, that when you're working with a visionary, they can be very expansive in their thinking, and we need to help them at times narrow down. So you can look at it from a cognitive perspective. You can also look at it from a lifelong learning perspective, stages of development, and how, like Bob Keegan's work, which is a couple of master classes on the website, how people have different levels of consciousness, really, and how you want to match up your coaching to the person, but you can have yet another theory to think about that: positive psychology, cognitive, adult development. Then you can also think about it even from an early life, a more analytic perspective of how these early experiences formed your basic assumptions, and how, knowing that, you can be of service to your client, not by ticking off the theories in your head. What you do is you kind of take it in, and then it informs the way you have better pattern recognition, which is one way to think of intuition.
I love what Carol is saying, a variety of different models that are so congruent with the coactive coaching model available for you that can only serve to deepen and enrich your approach to working with your clients and enable you to offer them more and to be the very best coach you can be, which is what I know you ultimately all really want.
And so one thing for your coaches, so you're out there, you're smart CTI coaches, you feel okay about this, and when you get on the website, the first thing you'll think is, sorry, but you will think, ooh, pretty. And then you'll think, oh, where do I go? Well, one, just go up and click on member, because you'll be a member. Then you'll go in, and this won't be true always, but now you go again, oh, pretty. Where do I go? So we do have a little bit of an intro there, but I want to point you in some directions. One of the things we've created are lots of master classes. Each one has 4 to 12 hours of information, and at some point these will be, we'll have continuing education credits for coaches for these. But go through them. For you guys, I think looking at the positive psychology master classes would be great, because you'll get to see that there's an enormous amount of research that supports things like seeing people naturally creative and whole. That is not just something Karen made up. It is something that she and the team really developed through 20 years of conversations, which, by the way, is called emerging process research. And it's got a lot of very fancy research now as well that supports that if you're seeing someone in that light, they will perform better. If you have a team, they will perform better and bond better, and it will help big picture thinking. So there's all kinds of things in there that hopefully you won't just feel like, oh, this is research, but you'll look at it and you'll go, oh, there's actually like science that's supporting what I just do.
Right.
My big hope is when I first got exposed to positive psychology, I got to stop being the perky psychologist, but, which is nice to get over that brand. But what I actually felt was that I was standing there with my arms out, and there were like hundreds of researchers holding me up and supporting what I was doing, so I could do it with authority, particularly when people didn't agree with it and thought it was dippy, and it's not. And that's why research and theory and a Harvard affiliation can really help us raise the brand of coaching, help us describe it to people who aren't yet on board.
And that's Carol's real vision for the Institute of Coaching, which I think is so completely cool. To be that support for all of you coaches, so that you can go out there and do what you do with this huge, immense body of research, really, really, really good research behind you and underneath you, so that the credibility of the work that you do individually builds, and the credibility of the profession that we share as a whole builds. And that's why I'm so passionate and grateful for our relationship, because we need each other, you know. Carol is wanting to support coaches that are going to go out into the world and coach. I'm wanting to provide CTI coaches with every possible thing that we could offer to help, you know, arm you and prepare you for the greatest success.
Ditto.